What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about mana at the request of Nono Arabola, or Non-Arabola. I don't know how to pronounce your name. With a special request for BBL, who will likely comment first. This is a challenge to anybody to comment on this before BBL. You know he's going to get it first. Or she. It could be a she. I would think more she's get BBLs, but from what I've heard, I guess men get BBLs too. Anyways, you wanted me to do some E-Wave theory on this, and I'm not the best with Elliott wave theory, but we're going to try it out, I guess. I tried to figure out what this is here. I've gone through all of this here, and I don't know if this is Elliott wave theory or if this would be more of like Wyckoff, maybe. I don't know what would be. Because I'm not that well versed in Wyckoff or Elliott wave theory. I'm aware of what they are, but it's just not my area of expertise, right? And this to me does look more like a Wyckoff accumulation, just based off this, right? Like if I go to Wyckoff accumulation, spring right here, slightly lower, oh so slightly lower, and then boom, you go through it, man. You got 1, 2, 3 peaks, 1, 2, 3 peaks at the base, 1, 2 peaks only, right? 1, 2, 3 at the base, but maybe that's your first peak. Second, I don't know, but your second peak would be higher than your third peak, so that doesn't make sense. Maybe it's not Wyckoff either. Again, I don't, or maybe there's different ways of measuring Wyckoff than just this basic example here. I don't know, right? But to me, this look is a lot more similar to this, although it's not quite the same as anything that I've looked up here, right? I thought it might have been a running flat, but it's definitely not. Like if you look at this, right, that's a running flat right there. It's kind of like almost like a diamond, almost, right? Which this is definitely not that. So I don't know, as far as E-wave theory, what to make of this whole pattern here. But if you go on the daily, I think what we have here is definitely some kind of descending triangle, right there. We've broken down. We've seen our impulse down, so that could be like our wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, maybe. I don't know. Someone correct me. I'm probably getting that wrong, but from your top to your bottom, that could be, I mean, maybe it's like this. Maybe it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe, but that doesn't make sense because wave 4 couldn't be larger than your wave 3. That wouldn't make sense. So it would make more sense if that was your wave 1, that was your wave 2, this is your wave 3. And in which case your wave 3 would have to be larger than your wave 2. It doesn't have to be larger than your wave 1, though it normally is. And is this larger than wave 1 so far? Let's just compare it and see. No, it's not, but it's kind of close. But you would generally look for it to be about the same, if not larger than wave 1. So that would either imply that we have lower to go or not. I don't know what wave count this would be. This is my best effort, my best attempt in trying here, but I don't think we really have an established trend either way, right? Like we're just accumulating right now. So my best guess would be some kind of Wyckoff, but just based off this, it doesn't look right? Like if you look at the examples that we have here, you do have one peak, and then your second peak's higher, and then your third peak, right? One peak, second peak's higher, your third peak's lower. Where here, you have basically twin peaks, and that's it. You got three peaks there. If I flipped it over, it might look more like a Wyckoff distribution, but that wouldn't make sense at a bottom. So I don't know. BBL, that's the best that I got for it, man. Unfortunately, I've probably scared a lot of people with the beginning of this video, but I don't know what to make of this. If anybody out there has any suggestions, you know what this pattern is, feel free to leave it in the comments. I'd be happy to talk about it. I'll give you a shout out, give you credit and everything for it, right? But I definitely don't know what to call this other than just a standard kind of, maybe not standard, but an accumulation phase. It does look like an accumulation pattern. Definitely not an inverse head and shoulders. Definitely, I mean, by the definitions that we've seen on the Wyckoff here, it's definitely not that. And again, I don't understand everything about Wyckoff, so maybe it is, and I don't know. But every example I'm seeing here, it looks like there is that second high. It's not a double top, right? Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. Maybe we should look at it on a daily basis. Maybe we should look at it on a daily. And in which case, here's one peak, and then there's your second peak. I don't know about that. I don't know. That doesn't make too much sense to me. But anyways, guys. Let's carry on. Enough of that. Let's look at this here. So mana Bullish divergence confirmed on the daily. Would call for a move up, essentially, basically right where you are, but just a little bit higher, around 32 to 35 cents. Okay. That doesn't mean we're going to go up too much higher, but that does, mean that we have a little bit more to go. And then we probably come back down. We will either form some kind of double bottom, some kind of higher low. It could be an even higher low than that, or maybe we have a lower low. Who knows, right? All that remains to be seen. I would be surprised if mana goes lower than this. That was a nice recovery yesterday. And if we look at the 4-hour candles or the 4-hour RSI, let's see here. I mean, it's weird looking, but I don't hate it. That looks like a V-shaped recovery to me. But what I am curious about is, will we find resistance here? Will we move down? Previous areas of support, we're at the 60, rejecting that. We could find resistance here. And that might mean, just a higher low. Maybe we pull back. We're at 31.27 cents now. Maybe we pull back to 29.3 cents. Maybe we pull all the way back down to 27.5 cents, even all the way down to 26 cents. I'm not expecting a lower low, though it could happen. 24 cents, 22 cents is on the table. That would be new all-time lows. I actually want to go to mana on Kraken because there's more data there. I want to be sure. Not new all-time lows. I'm sorry, I was wrong there. But new lows that we haven't seen since 2021. From a relative low here to this relative high, bouncing between the 382 and the 0.5. I mean, this could just be a standard like triple bottom is what it could be. On Coinbase, you have a slightly lower low, but on Kraken, you don't. I wonder what it's like on Binance. Binance, you have the lower low as well. What about USDT version? You got the lower low as well. I mean, still, and I actually think with a triple bottom, you do get that. It's not like an even. Let's actually look that up. Let's see on the pattern site here. Let's figure it out, baby. Here we go. Chart patterns. Would that be it? All these ads. Thomas is getting paid, man. Triple, it would be under T's. T. Sure, maybe not. A bunch of triangles. Triple bottoms, hey. And triple bottoms busted. We'll go over that too. Triple bottoms. Triple bottoms. Look at that. Hey, 2 peaks. Look at that. This is such a basic pattern. Why did I spend all that time, man? Somebody commented that I should edit this stuff out or like have it predetermined, and most of the time I do have things predetermined as what I want to say, but I also, the whole point of this channel, and I get that it would make things flow better, it might be easier for the average person to watch, I get that, and I do want to see the channel grow, I really do, but with videos like this that are like specific requests, I want to show you guys my process, because if I'm wrong, maybe there's those of you out there that catch that, and you can throw it in the comments and I can educate myself, but you're not gonna know where to correct me if I don't show you my process. Or also the main reason is that I want to show you my process. I want you guys, if you'd like to see how I do it, so that maybe you can see, hey, I can do this. He's doing it. He's doing it wrong sometimes. I could do this, like I don't know. Like that's what got me into it. I was watching people, and I have a family friend who is into trading also, and just it just, I don't know, kind of came about. You kind of have to start your own journey, and you're not going to start your own journey if you're not even aware of the door to the building. That's what I want to open the door for you. I'm not going to walk you in and hold your hand, right? But I'll be there to hold the door open for you as you walk through it. Say, hey, how's it going? Welcome to the world of technical analysis. Good freaking luck, man. It's not for everybody. But yeah, this does enough of my philosophies here. Triple bottom appears after a long flat base. Use the weekly scale to find the flat base. Yes, that the triple bottom will look like a pothole in a road. The flat base figure to the right shows an example. I don't know about that. Yeah, so maybe not. Shelf, it would be more of a 2 peaks, but we have the measure rule. Okay, well that's nice. We don't need the measure rule. We don't need the big W. What See, triple bottoms aren't even perfect, right? I wouldn't even call that a triple bottom. That's a double bottom there, with an opportunity. I mean, maybe it is a triple bottom. Thomas Wilkowski has a lot more experience than I do, so what do I know? But none of these. This to me looks the most accurate, and he's not even showing an example of that. But let's just see here. Price trend downward leading into the pattern. Yes, okay. Three distinct valleys that look similar. 1, 2, 3. I wouldn't say they look similar, right? Or maybe it's this valley, that valley, and this valley. Hey, those three look similar. Maybe that's what you mean. Maybe that's what you mean. I don't know. The price variation between bottom is small, such that it appears the three valleys bottom near the same price. Allow variations, yes. Okay, so it's saying you want it to be looking like a perfect triple bottom, but it doesn't have to be perfect, right? You can go a little bit lower. So confirmation, the pattern confirms it's a true triple bottom once price closes above the highest peak between the valleys. I would think it would be this one, right? This is between that valley there. I don't know. That would probably be that. So once we break above that, that's whenever it's confirmed. Volume, usually higher on the first bottom than on the last. Trending downwards 61% of the time, but it may peak beneath each valley. Okay. So let's go to USDT actually. Oh, we are. Are we on Binance? Okay, cool. So this would have the most volume. Let's zoom it in here. Look at that. Exactly kind of what he was saying. The most volume would be on the first peak there. So, yeah, that does work. That does work. Right, because that's what it said. Usually higher on the first bottom. Oh, so not the peak, the first bottom. Usually, well, and to be fair, actually, if we look at the volume, right, we're going to put it at the bottom here so that this is the volume at the bottom. It's that. Oh, it's a little bit higher than that there. Come on, like right there. Yeah, the next bottom, I would guess, would be like right there. It's actually pretty identical. And then with this bottom, it's pretty identical because the week's about to end. So actually, he says usually, so I think that's fine. More volume on the peaks than there is on the bottoms, but that's okay. If this is a triple bottom, then how we would measure it, measure rule, is you take the low to the high, and then that's your measurement right there. So the low, right, would it be the low to the high? Compute the height from the highest peak to the lowest valley. Okay. Right. Maybe it is three valleys, 1, 2, 3. We've just yet to form. We're halfway through our third valley now. Maybe it is 1, 2, 3. But those three valleys don't look that similar, so kind of demeans the idea. But it doesn't have to be perfect, right? Lowest point to the highest point is what he's saying. And we put it right up here. When we break this, that would be our measured move, is all the way up to about $2.76. Okay, it's that simple. Measure moves do not have to be met. We can fall shy of it. Measure moves do not have to mean a dead stop. You can break through it, absolutely. But that's just the general idea. If we take this all-time high to, I'm going to measure from this low, because these are like your fake out lows. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere's land. I would expect that you would, if you were to go up this high, that you'd probably go to about $3.10 or higher. So breaking through, however, what's really exciting about this is once we break through this, that would imply, based on the measure move, that we would just tear right through that 618. Tearing through the 618, 69 area on your first attempt, which we haven't had any other attempts from this high to low. We haven't had a single attempt. That would mean that you are likely going to see your minimum extended phases, which are $13.50 to $38.50 essentially, right? So it's a pretty big range from the current price. I mean, it's over 100x, right? No, it's not. I'm sorry. Or yes, at the top it would be, but that's a 41x or a 40x, then potentially up to like 120 something x. Man, I want to buy more mana. That might be my next purchase this week, man, because I really do like mana a lot. Let's get into the that's what's to look forward to once we break this high. Okay, that makes sense. Whenever you're in an accumulation phase like this, whether it's a triple bottom or not, I definitely feel confident it is a triple bottom. regardless of that, when you break the resistance point, you tend to, not always, but tend to see fireworks, right? As fast as we moved down, I would expect we move up faster, okay? It's not going to take the same amount of time, right? If it moved down, it took this long to move down, and that's pretty intense. I would think it's even more intense to the upside to move to that same area, just to keep that in mind. But I do inevitably think we're going to move higher than that. But looking at the weekly RSI, we are near the oversold zone, kind of an area that we could expect to bounce. It wouldn't be crazy if we went lower next week, right? We have a hell of a wick on this week already. If in the next 19 hours, we at 19 and a half hours, we move up from here, and close the week, we just have more wick to go down on. So we could close the week up here, still be near this oversold zone, and then move down next week, still getting a higher low, and then being in the oversold zone, if not bouncing off the oversold zone. And that could be where we find our low, as we have historically speaking. So we don't have to. We absolutely don't have to. But that would make sense to me, right? If we saw a red week next week as well. On a daily basis, I'm not a big fan of the RSI at all. We do have bullish divergence again, which could mean that maybe to end this week, as in today and tomorrow, well, today's the end of the week, but tomorrow to start the next week, I would think we do move somewhere in this area. I would not expect personally that we move beyond these highs here at about 35 cents. But I would expect that we at least interact with about like 32 and a half cents, but probably higher. 32 and a half to 35 cents. Perhaps we go all the way up to 40 cents, something like that. I wouldn't expect that, but we could, and then still go lower, but or at least, before seeing that higher low that we get, whatever. But all that to say, I don't think it's time for Mana to move up and break out of this range yet. We are at the bottom here. It's probably going to take some time. I don't think it'll take as much time as this. I don't think it'll be as fast as this, probably somewhere in between, right? So maybe a couple months or so, and that makes sense, right? We're going to work our way up over a couple months, and then sometime after the summer's over, start to break out. That kind of seems to be the narrative that's running in the markets right now, so that makes sense to me. I hope this video made sense, and if it didn't make sense, I hope it was at least entertaining to watch me struggle and squirm, man. I don't know. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more. This is called thepatternsight.com. For those of you that don't know, you just type it in like that, thepatternsight.com, and boom, here's your layout. You can look up everything you want, right? Thomas Spolkowski's got like, I don't know if it's over 40 years, over 50 years, probably over 50 years, because it was like over 40 years when I started. So he's probably got over 50 years of trading experience put on here. The last time he updated it was 7-3. For me, it's the 6th. 7-5. He updated this thing yesterday. He updates it regularly, you guys, and all his statistics are based and backed off of tons of interactions with the charts and patterns that he's had, that he's documented over the decades. So I heard someone say once that he has the largest collection of trading patterns, like statistically backed data, than any other person, and I haven't seen anything to disprove that. So anyways, at least publicly, right? Maybe there's people that have it that you have to pay thousands of dollars for, but he offers everything that he knows for free. You can buy his books and stuff. There's, trading class. I mean, I've never clicked on that, but I'm sure, and even tutorials, right? There's definitely things you can buy. You can buy his books, which I don't see. He normally advertises his books, but where are they? Anyways, I'm not going to spend too much time on that. So hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more. That's all I got. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.